Hey guys, thank you and welcome back to my channel. I am your host, Fab Scarborough, and thank you for coming back to another episode of Let's Talk About It Fab. So now today is Monday. We're gonna leave Mondays for just like Q&A because I see the Q&As are rolling in, and then we'll still roll out our regular episodes every Friday at 10 a.m. But Mondays we'll leave for like Q&A. So if you have any questions, be sure to send them in between now and Sunday, and then I'll go over it or talk about it on Monday or whatever the case may be. But so please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to get a pre-order of my book, Book Busy and Broke, dropping December 1st. You can get your copy at letstalkaboutitfab.com. Your girl would appreciate that. So let's get right into it. So I knew that this was coming. I just didn't think it would be this soon. But so I have 5 questions that I've been asked about me. Again, I knew that they would come in. I just didn't know that they would come in this quick. But this is part of doing this whole podcast thing. So let's just get right into it, right? So someone asked me, would I get back with my ex-husband? So the answer is no. We're amazing friends right now. I wholeheartedly believe that when we met, the people we were when we met and when we got married, and I don't know, maybe he feels this way too. I can't speak for him, but I can only speak for myself. I don't think, I know and believe I'm no longer that person. And it's not that I changed, right? It's like what I talked about last week about EI and emotional intelligence. I think that I have really come into myself with a sharp understanding of who I am right now at the age of 44. And I just don't see how a relationship between us would work right now, right? So for those reasons, I say no. And I say no also because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We have such an amazing friendship. It's really remarkable because even I know that it is because when I speak to people or I speak to friends that knew me while I was married and going through my divorce, the shock on their faces when I describe to them how amazing our friendship is right now. So, he's a great guy. He's a great father. So, and I believe exes are exes for a reason. I believe exes are exes for a reason, right? Yeah. All right. So moving on. Do I have a problem dating because I'm a divorced woman with children? Now. Okay, so this is a little tough because, well, it's not tough, but let me break it down, right? So when I was younger, especially when I was in my 20s, and I was in my whole masculine, I had a list. And it was boom, 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 boom. One of them was I did not want to date anyone, and I would never marry someone that had children already or that was married before. It was a preference of mine because it was something I really wanted to experience with someone for the very first time as well. And I probably missed out on a lot of great men. However, it was a preference of mine and I was adamant about it. So now when I hear men or I hear women say that, I don't get offended. Like, I don't really get offended. I know there's some women that do get offended, but I don't get offended because I date within my genre, right? I date within my capacity. You know what I'm saying? So have I? Yes, I have. But would I take them seriously in terms of like marriage? Maybe not. Again, I do believe that anything is possible, but it's just another layer. It's another layer. It's another layer of challenge that you have to confront and you have to discuss and have a conversation around. Because that's a big piece, right? Excuse me. So yeah. I mean, I don't really have, I haven't ran into any issues with someone saying, oh, you know, I like you, but you have children, or I like you, but you've been divorced, because my preference now is to date someone that either has children or has been divorced or has been in a long-term relationship before. So those are my preferences now. Like, will I step outside of the box? Yeah, I would, but there'd be a conversation, like right off the bat, like there'll be a conversation. You know, and it is what it is. You know, I am a 44-year-old woman, and yeah, I've been divorced and I have children. Now, I will say this, right? I will say this as far as like, if I meet someone, male or female, and they're like around my age group, like 40 and over, and they've never been married and they do not have any children, yeah, that's a red flag for me. Yeah. I don't know how big of a red flag, but it is a red flag. There are definitely some follow-up questions like, what have you been doing with your time? And I'm not saying everyone has to have been married or has to have had children, but you know, you want to know things like, well, is he sterile? Like, can he not have children? You know, is she unable to have children? Did something happen where they just don't believe in long-term relationships, or maybe they were engaged? Like, I don't know. There will have to be a dialogue around that. But yeah, so I don't run into those issues because I date within my parameters. Like, you know, I prefer someone to already have children, or I prefer someone to, like I said, had been married before, or at least been in a long-term relationship before. Yeah. So next question. Would you date someone younger or older than you? I see y'all coming in hot with these questions, huh? Younger? No. That's a hard no for me these days. Mostly because of emotional intelligence. There's just a level of maturity that I am attracted to that I think comes with experience and age. Not saying that age isn't just a number and there's certain things that you can know and experience at a younger age. Yes, you can. However, it is my preference now to date someone within my age group. We understand some things similarly, right? Not opposed to it. And it's not that I haven't, I just have a preference not to anymore. Now, someone older than me, I have never dated anyone really older than me. But the way these zaddies have been looking, maybe, but I don't, I'm not opposed to it, but I just haven't, you know, but I'm open, I think. Am I dating or am I single right now? So I'm gonna have to unpack this because I consider myself as doing both. So let me explain. I'm single as far as I am in a season of solitude. Now, I've heard people use the term isolation, or I'm on isolation right now, or I'm in a season of isolation. I don't like to use that term isolation. Personally, for me, it brings me back to a state like after I lost my son, you know, after my father was murdered. Like, I felt like like isolation, it reeks depression to me. It reeks not wanting to hang out and go out and be around people. That's what it sounds like to me. So I like to use the term solitude. I'm definitely in a season of solitude. And what that looks like is I will spend a lot of time getting to know and understand myself and my needs and my desires, right? So in moments of solitude is when I speak to God, right? I try to get closer to Him. In my moments of solitude, I do a lot of self-work, right? I look into me, my personalities. I jot down my goals, my aspirations. I have a lot of sticky notes. I have calendars. I try to plan out my life and schedule. So there's a lot of me going on, right? Outside of my children, outside of my family life. It's really about me, right? So that's the single part of my life, right? So if you ask me, am I single? Then yes, in that aspect, I'm single because I'm really doing the inner work I'm just doing a lot of inner work. So I'm in a lot of moments of solitude. However, I'm still dating. Yeah, I am still dating. Now, what dating looks like for me is I date both myself and other people. So you're like, well, okay, what does that mean? That meaning that I will go to the movies alone. I will go to dinner alone. I will go have a drink alone. I will, I love to play poker. Yeah, poker is my thing. So even though I don't gamble and go to the casinos anymore, but I will play online, right? I will play Words with Friends. I feel like I date myself. Like everything that I like to do, my pastimes, I will do them alone. I will definitely do them alone. And spend some time with myself, right? But at the same time, what that does, it allows me to expose myself, right? Because I don't really subscribe to just being home and miserable and feeling sorry for yourself and how you expect to meet someone just going to work and school or taking care of your kids. How you supposed to meet someone, sis? You got to be out there, right? And if the opportunity presents itself, let's just say get approached by a certain gentleman, hey, I was thinking about going to this concert or going to this restaurant. Would you like to join me? Let's do that. I'm up for that. Let's go out. Let's do this. So I would date other people and I date myself. I take myself out because I want to. Because I want to. So yeah. Would you marry again? Yes, I would get married again. So I must say this though. Getting married again to me is not, the best way I can put it is that there's no rush and there's no pressure this time. Man, as parents, if we can just understand and realize sometimes the pressure that we put on